Welcome back to Dark Movies with Friends, a podcast where we dive into all things spooky with a heavy focus on found footage horror. I'm your host, Scott. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the 6th installment of Dark Movies with Friends. We had 4 non-fiction episodes, 1 fictional episode, episode 5, called The Wailing Tunnel, obviously, hopefully fiction. I believe I'm dead at the end of that, spoiler alert, but I am alive and well for episode 6. I took like a 2-week break on recording. We had a lot going on at my house. Sicknesses going through all the whole 9 yards to finish off this 2025 school year. My wife and I are both teachers, and my kids are in school, so we're in 4 different places as far as teaching and being students. So kind of bringing it all home as far as the illnesses go. But I definitely want to get into what I've been watching, because I've kind of been all over the place with my movies. And then I'll dive into the movie we're going to break down this week and my guest that I'm going to have on in a little bit. And I'm really excited to have her. So let's get into what I watched this week. So the first movie I want to talk about real quick is CSA, or the Confederate States of America. It was directed by Kevin Wilmott. In 2004, it was released. This was fantastic satire mockumentary, and I'm going to give it its full due as far as a full episode, so I'm going to stop right there. But I watched that one on YouTube. I believe it's in several places, but I watched it first on YouTube probably 3 times in the past 2 weeks. And gave it to people to watch as far as the YouTube link, and watched parts of it with them and things like that. So definitely excited about that movie. The next movie I watched was Mr. Jones. This was on Tubi. It was released in 2013, directed and written by Karl Mueller. Another great one. The next movie I watched was 0 Day, directed and written by Bennett, Coccio, Coccio, I want to say that right, Coccio. It was released in 2003. This is another, oh my gosh, this one really, for how real it is, it really gets at you. So I saw that one on YouTube, I believe. The next movie I watched was The Europa Report, directed by Sebastian Cordero, written by Philip Gelatt, released in 2013. I watched this one on Amazon Prime. That was a great one too. It's definitely different, very unique in its style, and if you like outer space, alien, that type of vibe, that movie's yours. The only one of those for sure that I know will get its full episode due from me is Confederate States of America. I definitely like just to give a little tidbit in the movies I watch, just to give them a plug, to kind of give you more of a reference than just one movie per episode of Dark Movies with Friends. I like to give maybe a handful just to quickly kind of tell you what I've been into. And without further ado, the movie that we are going to break down in today's episode, and I watched several times in the past couple weeks, is Ghostwatch from 1992. It was written by Stephen Folk and directed by Lesley Manning, and it's going to get its full due in just a minute here. I'm so excited to have my friend Jackie Shopes. I work with her. She's a teacher as well. And cool thing that I'm going to let her break down fully, but it's so cool to have her on because she, unlike other guests and people that will be on the show and people who have been on the show, she is not into horror movies at all. She is terrified of them. So this will be a fun one, guys. So without further ado, here she comes. Here is the interview. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'll be back at the end to wrap things up. Hey everybody, here with my good friend Jackie Shopes, or Shopesies. I never call her that, but I just did for the first time ever. And what I want to do kind of is have her introduce herself and a little bit whatever she wants to say and why she's here, and then we'll dive into Ghostwatch. So Jackie, please.
All right. Thanks, Scott, for having me. I appreciate it. As you know, Scott, I do not ever watch scary movies. Like, literally, the scariest movie, and it's not even a movie, it's a TV show that I can watch is like Stranger Things. So I am here because I am intrigued as to why people like to watch horror movies. Like, why do you want to be scared? I don't ever want to be scared. So I'm here like puzzled. Why is
Are
this?
you
What?
are you curious as to why your good friend is obsessed at all? Because do you think you met me? You've met me for a couple years now, but
Yes.
truly, I would say you found out about this obsession maybe the past year. I don't
Yes.
think I'd let this be known early on. I kind of let it be known as time went on, and I kind of developed this. But do you think there's parts of you that you hear horror movies, and what's flashing through your head?
Like scary witches, demons, things moving that shouldn't be moving at the time. Like,
Okay, so would you say it's that? Now you told me a while back that like the demon stuff is like that's your big no.
that's a
So
hard no.
what about gore, blood, gore,
Oh,
killing,
see,
things like that?
I can handle that. I don't mind that at all. I don't mind blood, guts, people's heads getting chopped off, like
Then,
spewing. That does not bother me.
but there's movies then that you will watch that I'm going to get you to watch. To be fair, before we even get into Ghostwatch, you technically did watch CSA, Confederate
I,
States of America, because I
I,
told you it's not really in line with horror. So
yes.
you did prep for another episode down the road.
Yes, I did do that. I was not scared by any means with that one. Um, but when you said that we were going to talk about Ghostwatch, like I even got a little bit like a goosebumps right now. Like, I don't
The
even know if I
title,
can hear this.
the
Like
title.
my little
Well,
baby
it's
ears.
funny. I chuckle because Ghostwatch is 100% demons, possession, ghosts, things
Yeah,
moving
no,
where they shouldn't, kids having voices they shouldn't have,
yeah,
old men. I will say, well, we'll get into Ghostwatch in a minute, but there it excites me because you say, and my wife is the same way. I will not. She hears the word horror and she's like, "Nope, I'm not even gonna be in the room or hear it. I want you to have headphones in. I don't even want to hear any noise." But then she'll see something I'm watching and laugh and go, "That was stupid. What was that?" I go, "That's one of the movies that you say is like so horrible, so groundbreaking." So a lot of times it's like think about as a kid. Um, Things you're scared of, but then when you actually attempt it, you go, that wasn't even that bad. Like
yeah,
now, to your defense, some movies are just as bad as you like what you're thinking is going to be terrible. Like I still get to a point where I go, ugh, no. But my ickiness is different than your icky. My ickiness is vulnerable people getting hurt, that like
mm-hmm.
kids, women maybe getting abused, like things that I don't like.
Yeah,
Icky. My ickiness on my squeamish feeling is like vulnerable people being hurt. I think that comes from like being a dad. I
mm-hmm.
don't like watching little kids in movies get now a grown man getting thrown around by a monster. Give me it. I love it.
Yeah,
Ghost possessions, all that. I love all those. But my scariest movie growing up was The Exorcist. Like I remember my dad, and I mean, in and out of relationship closeness with my dad, but I do remember I was like 9 years old, 8 years old, and he was like, "Watch this. DVDs just came out," and he
Hmm.
bought a bunch of DVDs, and one of them was like this like ultimate edition of The Exorcist. So he's like, "Watch." She pukes up soup and stuff, and look at the color because of the DVD, like the quality of
Hmm.
the DVD.
So my scariest movie growing up was I was at my grandma and pap's house, and my one uncle was watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Ooh.
I had nightmares, the same reoccurring nightmare for years and years and years. And that's one reason why scary movies are like just a hard no for me, because it's the nightmares that I get that like I'm in that movie that I watched and like I can't get out. So
But
it's
you give me a challenge because I I'm going to get you to watch some that you can handle. That it's my job as your friend and as the host of this show to navigate people into a place where they can still join me on this dark movies
mhm,
quest and not completely go it's all or nothing. Now, I get it. I get it. There's some that give me those nightmares and stuff and I go, why did I do that? But I still love that I did because I respect the art so much. But when you get into this genre, especially found footage and the all the sub genres of found footage, which I think Ghostwatch is like mockumentary, like fake TV broadcast type of found footage. It's you get to meet some of the directors and actors and people involved. It's lower level. I'm not speaking about Ghostwatch in general, but maybe like the B level horror that when you get to talk to the filmmakers and the actors and artists that are part of it, you go, oh, these are real people. They
mhm,
didn't die in that movie. They didn't
right.
they didn't get chopped up. That ghost didn't kill them. Like, I don't know. I know I'm 36, but it makes me feel better when you go, "Oh, those are real folks." Like
They're still alive.
they're doing an art show. They're putting on a performance and art show. That sounds stupid. They're putting on a performance that they want you to have a feeling with. And I love testing my strength of anxiety and panic and stuff. I love it's almost like a muscle that I'm trying to flex.
Hmm.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So I have been prepping loosely with the TV show Supernatural.
Yeah, you
So
told me that. You told me
yes,
about that.
and some of it is a little too scary that I have to fast forward through.
That's not a problem. Now, keep this in mind too. I don't know if I've made this public record through the first several episodes, but I want it to be publicly known that I don't watch these at night.
Well,
I watch I watch these during the day when I have access to other humans, when I can like pause it and be like, haha, I can go on a walk outside and it's sunny. I don't watch these at night and terrify myself. So like
yes,
I have stipulations with some of these movies. There's movies where I've fast forwarded through like gore scenes that where I know I get the gist. Okay.
yeah,
You got me. You got me, guys. Like with it, with you're chopping his head off and you're taking an hour to do it. I get it. I got it. And it, but that to me, it did its job. It
right.
got me grossed out. Like, so you're not alone in that. Like, I can watch it, but there's parts where I have to fast forward. I think that you're probably further in the horror genre than you think. Like you say, I don't watch those or they're too scary, but I really think some of the things you're willing to watch, you're open to more than you think. Obviously, I can count out about half of them with the
Yes,
demons and the stuff, but that
demons.
doesn't mean you can't be here. Look at you. You're here with Ghostwatch.
I am here. Yeah, the demonic and the witchy and the seances, and that's it's just I just cannot. I cannot because
What about some? Because there's some of those that are comedic, dark comedies. Would you be able to laugh at any?
I think I would, but I think I'm sensitive.
Do you hear that, gang? Gang that's listening to the podcast. Here's what I'm thinking, and you might be thinking the same thing. There's a list that I'm brewing in my brain, and I'm keeping that list private right now. I'm
Okay.
keeping that list private, but I bet you people listening to this are also like, ooh, she can watch this. I'm hoping we get a comment list going. What should Jackie start with? It's almost like that. Like, help me. I need people to help me, because this is where you might really benefit, because maybe there's things that you'll love that you didn't even know is out there. Like, I know you're a big TV, you're not a huge TV watcher, but you do like it.
Yes.
Go
and
ahead.
and oddly enough, I do fancy the I don't even know if it's fantasy, but I like
You fancy the fantasy?
yes. I liked Vampire Diaries. I like vampires, werewolves, like that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
there's a whole section of them. There's
Yeah.
a whole section of, let's call, I'm going to be modest here and say 100 found footage, Bigfoot, um, werewolf. And in fact, if my good buddy from Tahoe Joe is listening, uh, the folks at Tahoe Joe want to be on here and talk to us
Mm-hmm.
about Bigfoot, their movies. They're currently in the process of filming Tahoe Joe 3. Those are fun. You would like those. They're in the found footage horror, but they're not. They're very doable and fun.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, so there's movies that are really really awesome, and the folks who make them are willing to talk about it. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. So it's nice to hear that you just said that.
Yes. I Vampire Diaries, True Bloods, like that kind of stuff is okay, but I think it's too like how scary it looks.
Oh, so do you think, okay, because there's a ton of, there's movies like Afflicted. There's a lot of vampire found footage horror that they maybe, for you, might overdo it on the gore,
Mm-hmm.
but it could be a situation where you got me, fast forward through it,
Yeah.
because it's still a good movie. You just didn't want to see all of that.
Yeah.
And you might be in that boat. And if there was ever a time too, I gave you a recommendation that was like on edge, I would, let's make a list, gang, where we go like, these are easy peasy for Jackie. These are, try it. These are proceed with caution. That's what I'll
Okay.
try to do. Almost
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
green light, yellow light, red light's like, I'm ready to test it. Like, but, and I'm also willing to watch some with you and be like, we got to fast forward this part. Like,
Yeah.
I'll know what's coming, and you know.
You
But
have to like preview it, pre-watch it.
do you know this about me? Do you know that I like to read a synopsis of a movie before I watch it? Like, I like to know every twist and turn. Did you
Oh.
know that about me?
No, that's interesting.
I I'm not a big, I love twists and turns. I like knowing about them. I
Mm.
like knowing I might not need to know every detail of it. I
Mm-hmm.
might look up a movie and go, my research might be, I'm looking for in Google, I might go horror movie with a good twist, and it'll give me a list. So I'll click it and watch it knowing that a twist is coming,
Mm.
but I don't know what it is. I kind of make a guess, or
Yeah.
I love that. I love doing that. Let's get into Ghostwatch. You excited?
I am. Yes.
It's nostalgic for me because it's the first time I ever watched it these past couple of weeks, but it's nostalgic for me because it's early 90s and it's set up like that. It looks like Halloween in the early 90s. So I had that feeling. I watched it on my phone, earbuds in, laying in bed, fully medicated, and and watching my, it was so cool. Even the scary parts where I go, ooh, got me. Like, got me some of the, like, I don't think a little kid should ever have a demon voice, but there was a little kid with a demon voice. And what's cool, Shopesies, I don't know if you know this about kind of the route I've been doing last couple episodes, but I don't really want to talk whole synopsis. I think
Mm-hmm.
people should give a movie its chance to, that can be boring. I don't want to be like a Wikipedia page, because that's how sometimes the synopsis can come off. So I'm trying to I'm going to hit you with some fun facts.
Okay.
And then you tell me if you read that as well and what you thought about it, and you could hit me back with fun facts of your own that you found.
Well, could I determine how fun your facts are?
Yeah, yeah. But fun fact or fiction,
Yeah.
fictional fact,
Yes.
fictional fun fact,
Am I having fun while you're telling me these facts?
fart facts. What? Okay. All right. So let's get into it. Easy one to start with. It was aired Halloween night 1992. It was presented as live, although it was pre-recorded. So the whole nation of Britain, England, or whatever you want to, in Britain, where the BBC aired this as a live broadcast, but it was
Mhm.
taped 5 weeks prior. So then they had like a call-in line if you like had ghost stories to tell of your own, that they always had. This call-in line was the same number they always had for this news broadcast. An estimated million calls came in that night.
Mhm.
There was only 5 lines, so everybody was on hold. So they're thinking this is real. Like the entire, I watched it going, how would you think this is real? How would I watch this and be like, in my head it's real? Well, there wasn't, it was the news personalities. It was like your local news personalities putting on this show. So think about your local. For us, you probably have the Pittsburgh News like I do.
Yeah.
Like some of the. Imagine those folks putting on a demon possession and airing it like the news on Halloween night.
Yeah.
You'd have a feeling that it's fake because it's Halloween, but you'd go, these people aren't actors. Like they're the news, right? So I thought that was fun. That
That
it was
that's a good fact. I think just it being on Halloween makes it that more like scary.
yeah,
If it
yeah,
if it, if it would have been on Thanksgiving, still scary, but Halloween is that's
yeah. And
interesting.
I'm not sure. I'm sure it was. I didn't get deep into like the time. I bet you it was like 8 p.m. or something like that. It was 90-minute run time. So you go, kids are back from trick or treating, and we put this. You're watching the news. You're wrapping up the news.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was. I'm not sure how it was marketed as far as like commercials for it, but um, there's a lot of like urban legends about like they were subliminally advertising it on the kid programming that week to get
Mm.
little kids to watch it late at night. I don't know how factual that is. That's like in the deep dive
Yeah.
details.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how I
Um,
feel about that fact.
no, creepy, isn't it? If
Yeah.
that's true. So they added opening credit second. This would be, I guess, fun fact number two. They added the opening credits in the beginning as they were concerned that it would look too live. But they obviously, like, people thought it was real. They wanted to make it less real by adding like this is from a movie production.
Yeah.
Like doing that, but even adding in those opening credits still confused people because it seems so real and all that. I already said it was the TV personalities at the time that were doing it, and from local shows. One of which, Sarah Green, I believe she was the blonde lady that was in the house, like doing the interviewing the kids and stuff. She hosts a kid TV show on the weekends or on the weekdays. She had to come back that Monday morning and tell all the kids that she's okay.
I did read about that and I thought, "Oh my gosh, it must be that scary and that realistic that people thought she legitimately died or whatever
When you watch it with your 2025 eyeballs, with movies that you've seen, even with your expertise of just like the shows you mentioned, you would look back on it. I look back on it and go, it doesn't seem real. But in 1992, I
right.
think it was ahead of its time. It was ahead of its time in writing and delivery. So I think it was ahead of its time in the production value and everything. So the they even the main man host um, he did a good job playing off that he wasn't scared at all. He's like
Hmm.
making fun of it the whole time. So he played it off. He played the everyman that's watching it. So people that are going, it's Halloween, this is stupid. He was giving them that character. And then the wife or anybody at home who was terrified, the other actors in it are like, oh my God, no, this is legit. It was really, really well done. A movie within a movie. The monster in the movie is based on, it says, the Enfield poltergeist. I read a little bit about it. It was loosely based on a local urban legend. um, I think they took a story and really intertwined it with their local TV personalities and did
Hmm.
such an awesome job scaring people and to the demise of people. Apparently, I'm not a big look that I read that about, like, how there was a certain number of suicides that took place and things like that after this movie was aired, and the families blamed the movie. I, that's hard for me to say the movie caused that. I don't
Right.
know. I can't. I don't want to give an opinion on that. It's hard for
Yeah.
me to go, the movie was that intense. I don't think it was, but
I I think the hard thing for us to, like you were mentioning, we are looking at it in a different era. And so could it have in 1992? Possibly. I don't know. With the way graphics were then and quality of TV and whatnot.
do you think, and now especially, people trusted the news more back then?
Right.
So if it's broadcast from your local TV personalities that you kind of trust as like a broadcaster, and they're
Hmm.
going, there's a demon in here, a ghost like, I don't know,
Right.
you might believe it. So yeah, it's tough. I feel this way about a lot of movies where you watch it and people go, it's a classic, it's one of the best of all time, and it's from the 70s or something, and you watch it and you go, you're a little bummed because you had a 2025 expectation on the
Right.
quality. You almost have to make sure you have the right mindset and the right frame of mind to go, what did they have at the time? How groundbreaking is this, if that's what you're looking for? And Ghostwatch, holy smokes. I did like a fan vote on Instagram and Facebook and stuff, and I secretly probably wanted this one to get picked. I know you and I were both pretty prepped for CSA as
Yeah.
far as watching it, and that's still coming. I have some people that I messaged on the side that I said, "Don't worry, the movies you voted for, well, I still want to do. I just kind of was at a standstill as far as which movie I was going to do when, but
Hmm.
I'm excited. I know it's nowhere near Halloween, but who cares? This is one that I feel like I'm going to put on Halloween every year.
Oh, so
I
like an annual watch, Ghost Watch.
I 100%. There's not a lot of movies that I'd put in like my yearly watch column. This is one 100%. I'd put this one in. It's maybe like the day before. I think I can eventually get my boys involved with like this type of movie. This one's good.
Ah.
This one's a classic. I don't often, and I'm not big on ranking the movies and being like, this one's good, this one's bad. But I'm telling you, for me, this one like hit all my sweet spots. It made me feel good. I was
Oh,
terrified when I heard the little girl's voice. I don't know if
yeah.
you heard I'm sending you
No,
the little girl's voice.
no,
I gotta
no,
see your voice. I
no,
forget
thank you.
her line she says, but it's terrifying. I didn't
Listen,
know it was coming. I didn't know it was coming, and I had my earbuds in, and all of a sudden, this sweet little girl has an old man demon voice, and I went,
no, listen. When I was reading, doing a little bit of research and reading, and when I read and the pipes were shaking, I was like, we're done here. We're done.
Pipe. Did you learn that the spirit's name was Pipes?
I did see
Yeah.
that. Yes.
What do you guys? I wonder what fans think. Like, okay, Shopes is talking to me, and she knows this whole movie. She knows everything about this movie. The only thing that didn't happen, the only sense that didn't feel this movie was her eyeballs. And to me, I wonder if that's worse. Personally, I wonder if that's worse. You read the whole scenario, you know what happens,
Yeah.
but you're like, I can't watch it. didn't you kind of terrified yourself just by reading it?
I did. I was like a little bit like nervous and sweaty reading it. I'm like, I'm not watching this. This is too scary. No.
This would be no. This would be in your
My red light.
caution to red. Dark yellow, light red. They don't really go too crazy demon wise. It's only a couple parts where you're like, ew.
What I was a little bit perplexed on, because I'm a mom and I shield my kids from these kind of things just because it's scary for me and I don't want them to experience it. But the kids were actually watching this. I was like, oh my gosh. Like my mom heart just like got real big and I'm like, I need to protect these kids. Don't watch this stuff.
Kids are watching it in 1992 unwillingly in Britain.
Right.
On TV, it's what was on. Obviously, I shouldn't say unwillingly. You have the ability to not watch TV, but someone you love from a cartoon or a TV show. Oh, there's Sarah. Mom, look. Oh, she gets trapped.
Right.
I think at one point she gets trapped in the wall with pipes.
Yeah.
You hear screaming, and that's the end. That's like the end for her. And so the kids were like, they had to wait till Monday to hear her say, "I'm okay." And
yeah, imagine that. Put yourself in that kid's shoes. You have this TV show that you watch with this woman who is sweet and loving and caring, and then she's slashed by creepiness. Yeah. And then she's back on Monday and says, "Oh, hey guys, just kidding."
Hey guys, it was all a joke. We're sorry.
Yeah, and so then does that cause the child to be like, "No way. I'm not watching you anymore. I'm too scared. I don't believe you."
Maybe they got an early dose of the fake news culture. You know, the early but no, we hit the nail on the head when we said, people trusted the news more back then.
Right.
The last thing I have on it was, and I didn't watch this yet. Well, two more things. One, that it's often compared to the Orson Welles War of the Worlds. War of the Worlds was that radio broadcast that Orson Welles played where like aliens came and the whole world believed it. The whole America believed it was legit. So it was kind of compared to a couple of those types of movies. And 1994, a movie called Without Warning was kind of similar, just for reference. Last thing I really got, and I want to watch this, there's a retrospective documentary made 2013. It's called Ghostwatch Behind the Curtains. So almost like all the details we're getting into and more, probably, I assume, way more deep dive into the backstory of how it was made and stuff. So I really want to watch that because I'm interested into the backlash it got, into the falling out. I believe it mentions I watched a clip. I believe it mentions the possible suicides that have stemmed from this movie. So I'm looking forward to watching that as well. But definitely, I think Ghostwatch is going to be on my yearly to do.
So when you're watching Ghostwatch, I'm going to be watching Charlie Brown and the Great Pumpkin.
Yeah, I'll go. Pipes just killed that lady again.
It'll be like, Lucy is moving the football and Charlie Brown can't kick it.
And I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna say? Same thing. Same thing. Charlie got destroyed and the woman got destroyed. It's like same thing, and she doesn't have to deal with it anymore. Charlie still has to. Oh, no. Like, yeah.
Good grief.
Hey, before we go, can you have a background with TV broadcast and things like that?
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that and what got you into that? Because I think people are interested in, like, I talked to so many people that are like, "Oh, cool, a podcast. How do you do it?" And I'm like, I barely know much of this, but you know about literally a TV show, correct?
Yeah, I had a TV show. I was the host of the TV show. At one point in time, there were like two of us, and we kind of like took turns or whatever. But then it became just me. It was called Challenge Accepted, and I would literally, it was more for promoting businesses and events. So, for example, here, you'll like this one. For a couple of years, every Halloween time, we would go to a local scare house in the town that I live in, and we would do the like scare in the building. Like, it was an old school, and they wrote it as like one of the students or one of the teachers. Like, it would change every year, and I would have to go through while not being able to see, meaning like there was a light on the camera that was filming me and filming my reactions, and get through the building to the end. Now, of course, when we produced it, we could not produce showing the entire thing because that would like ruin it for others. That was the hardest challenge. Like, of course, I don't like scary things. So it took a lot of courage for me to go and do that challenge to get through to the end and not feel like I was going to literally die. Like, it was jump scaring. It was like loud breathing over your shoulder and your ear, and like people like brushing up against you, and I mean it was just torture. But I got into that because really just a friend of mine started working at a local cable company, and they had like a local broadcast, and he said, "Hey, I think you do really well at this." And I do enjoy like the public speaking and whatnot. And I said, "Yeah, I'll try it." I was nervous at first, and then it just became kind of one of those things that was a hobby. Like, it just became a hobby. It wasn't like a chore to do. It was like I looked forward to it, and it was one of those things like my me time. I get to film something, and then people get to experience what my challenge is and see like, oh, here's an event going on in June. This is what they'll have. Here are some things you can do. Like, one time I was in a dunk tank, and my kids showed up with my husband. And you know how like you buy like so many baseballs or whatever and you throw it? Well, they didn't buy anything. They just came and hit the button. Like, just psh, hit the button and I was down in the dunk tank. I have done like a show promoting like what a frosty frolic is, or a polar bear plunge, like at the
Yeah,
beginning of the year.
yeah.
I did that jumping in February, like the beginning of February, into the river to promote. It's called the Frosty Frolic, and it raises funds for different things. So yeah, I've done a lot of different things, but again, I shy away from the scary stuff. I oh like I would not go to like a graveyard
Well,
or a
gang,
cemetery at night. Nope.
gang. She could have said no to this, but she didn't. That's what people are hearing when they're listening to you. They're going because for some reason, especially the found footage community, we're very culty. we want we want more people. Join us, Jack.
Yes, but
It's very like we love it so much. I love it so much. I want people that go like I don't like it. It's like a challenge to me to be like, nah, there's parts that you will. That's why I'm excited. I'm excited you said yes because your background in production value, promotion, all kinds of things that you bring to the table, and you're a good person. So, and you deserve a chance to talk about some scary stuff and why it scares you and why, because there's a community out there. My wife is in your community. She loves that I'm doing this and listens, but she's like, I can't watch any of those.
mm-mm.
I'm like, but she can. She's just saying you can't.
Maybe I have a misconception of what horror means. That could be it too.
Yeah, yeah, but in the a really difficult thing is that sometimes you're correct. Sometimes it is way too much. Sometimes it is way too scary, but everyone has their mark, you know?
Yeah.
And your mark is your threshold is currently not as far as mine. But like you said, you fast forward through some things and you can get the parts of the movie that it's hard for me to okay, for me, a lot of men will go, just can't. I like romantic comedies, but a lot of men will go, I cannot do any romantic. I cannot do it. It's hard for me to shut out an entire genre when I know how much I love movies. If that
Okay.
makes sense. If someone
Sure.
goes, well, this is a really really good one though, I'm like, I gotta try it. You're telling me it's so good. Like it might still not be my favorite, but it's hard for me to be like, I don't like X. I dislike. It's the same thing with probably it probably goes with anything in life, right? It's hard to be like,
Hmm.
I hate this.
Right.
Do you really hate it, or do you hate parts of it and you're trying to,
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, full disclosure, I'm willing to attempt, but we got to use our grid of the green, yellow, and
Oh yeah.
red.
I will never do. I would never be like, you can watch this, knowing that it'll ruin your life. I won't. I won't do that. I won't do that. I might do it as a joke and be like, actually, don't watch it. Don't watch it. Don't watch it. But that that's cool, and that's I'm trying to I had. It's kind of fun, and I thought about this morning. I had a filmmaker on. I had a friend from a long time, almost back to high school, and I have a friend from my current work. So it's like cool that I'm trying to see, I'm gauging who do I speak to on a daily basis, and everyone's different. Everyone's
Right.
limit of like the last friend I talked to, Zach, would watch anything. I literally mean anything I send him, he would probably I'll watch it. Like he'll try it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean, he still might have his threshold of like what grosses him out or.
Right.
But Jackie, thanks for hanging with me. We got summer creeping around.
Yep. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It was a good chat about Ghostwatch. I'm still not going to watch it, just so you know.
Okay.
Still too scary.
Did you ever see what about the common slashers like Scream?
Oh God, no. No,
Okay.
no.
Halloween,
No.
Friday the 13th, the
No,
hockey
can I
mask.
no, can I tell you this? I watched Final Destination, like the first one,
Mm-hmm.
when I was younger, and to this day I cannot drive behind a log truck. I have to pass it.
Well, you're in good company with that. A lot of people are in that boat with that movie. The new one's out. I want to see the
Yes,
new one. So
I saw that.
I love those.
Yeah, no.
They don't scare me. They do creep. They gross me out. So, but
So
those are fun.
so for my TV show, we went to a cornfield once, and the guy with the mask, um, Voorhees, what's his name?
Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
chased me around. It was so horrifying.
Yeah.
Just horrifying. So I watched none of those. Not Chucky, not the Bride of Chucky.
Chucky always made me laugh because I never understood why people didn't just punt him across the room. Yes, he would keep running at you, but you would just keep going, I'm 6 feet and you're a foot tall.
Yeah, I won't watch it.
He has a little knife, but he's not like superpowers.
Yeah, nope.
He would jump pretty, but jump at people.
Mm-mm.
Do you like my Chucky voice? Will you give me a Chucky voice before we leave?
I don't even know what. Listen, I don't know what Chucky sounds like because I've never watched it.
Kind of like, hey, I'm gonna get you, like kind of like that. Yeah, I'm coming at you with a knife.
Hey Scott, thanks for having me on your TV show.
TV show. Yeah,
That's
you know what? We're making it a well, what people don't know or might not know is I typically do like a Google Meet. So people do see me. So it does feel like more of a broadcast. And down the road, by the way, gang, we might do some video episodes. I think those would be fun. So when we get more, especially Shopesies, it'd be cool to do one with you. I know we kind of talked when we do professional development in August, one together, and we can scrimmage up maybe like a water park movie or a because that's where our training is. Our work is cool like that, or like a hotel. There's a ton of hotel creepy. That'd be fun to do one like from a hotel lobby or where we get together and we record together. But that'd be fun, and maybe it would be in the category of a movie that we can watch. Your green light.
Okay.
You get
green light.
And then we just broadcast right after. Like, oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, but if we're gonna do a water park one, we have to broadcast from the lazy river.
Just with the tech, with the microphone, we don't cut any corners here at Dark Movies with Friends. I put my life on the line every week. I broadcast from a pool of water. I'm just joking.
It'll turn out well.
All right. Shopesies, have a solid day.
All right. Thanks for having me.
See ya. Have a good day.
See you later.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this week's episode of Dark Movies with Friends. Many thanks to my good friend Jackie Shopes for joining in with me. Let's get her that list going of movies she can handle, guys. Let's get her some green light movies, and she could dive into some found footage horror with us. And it's so cool to have a friend on. I appreciate her for giving me her time, and I hope to get more friends on. This is so fun, everybody. Let's keep going. I appreciate you. Let's get out there and find some footage. Peace.